Today we're going to see if I can make these Mirage TMNT knockoffs look like the original Necas, or maybe better. I'm going to take you through every step. So this is what they look like to begin with. His sword was it's really bent, so I put it in between two pieces of cardboard and used some clips. What are those called? I don't know, I have lots of them. But that's going to hopefully hold it straight for a few days and it'll stay straight. Now I have a matte acrylic varnish that I'm covering all the turtles with to get everything ready for paint and seal it up. It works as my primer because the colors are going to be very close to what they are now, so I don't need to paint the whole thing white. I try to avoid that as much as I can. I only like to put thin layers and as little paint as possible. Now after that dries, I have a black wash and I'm going in all their shells to get in all the cracks and crevices and just to make everything darker. I thought for a while, like, if I'm gonna do the blue shells or if I make them like a beige color, because in some of the comics they have the beige, but in the first ones, which these are based on, they're blue, like a dark blue with a lot of black in it. So I get those ready and let those dry. And the next step, I have it's like white and brown and yellow that I mixed to make a kind of tan color. And I added some red and orange and water because it was old, so I needed some water and mixed it all together to get like a reddish, beigeish color that I'm going over all their plastrons. And I still want a little of the yellow to show through, so I'm just doing a really light coat, but I want to just add some different shades and tones, and I'm going more around the edges and in the cracks, and it'll be a little yellower in the centers. Now I have a grass green that I chose for their main color, and I'm just dry brushing it over everywhere that's green skin, because I want to leave some of the dark green and some of the bright green on mostly the higher spots brighter, so we get some gradient, and I won't have to redo all the lines that are in there because I have ink lines. And don't do the inside of the hand, because the more you put on the inside of the hand, it's harder for them to get the weapons in, and then it scratches when you take the weapons out. So I cover them. You just see one because it was a long process, but I got all four. Next I have a bark brown, and it's satin, so it's got a little bit of a shine to it, and it's going to look more like leather, but it's pretty close to the color it already was. And I'm not doing all the pads. Well, I'm doing all the like pad part of the pad, but not the wrap of the pad, and not the wraps on his wrist, because I want to have some different colors again. But I took off all the belt buckles because they came out easy, so I paint those in the belt with the leathery satin bark brown. Now one of them I lost the bandana back. It was Mikey, and so I have this old, I think it's a 2012 TMNT bandana back, or it might be a 2003, but I glued a toothpick onto the end of it, well, a little piece of a toothpick, so that it'll go in the hole in the back of his head. And if I find the original one, I can just replace it and I don't have to take any glue out or anything. I'm using red. It's cardinal red. Again, pretty close to the color it already was, but it's going to make it a little brighter and make it match better with all the other places I painted, so because it doesn't have a plastic red look, it has a painted red look. Anyway, I go in with some black, and I'm going in all the deep cracks because I want them darker and like a bold black in those lines to really make everything pop out, because you have like little bits of black and light black in the cracks, but then the dark black in the deeper cracks. And I go around the edges as well to make everything kind of jump out and look deeper and more beat up and dirty and grimy, and you know, they've been in battle and a lot closer to the comic books. And there's some different versions, but these are like the original ones from Eastman and Laird without any other artists coming in, because I really like the Lawson ones, and they have the beige on the back of the shell. Now I have raw sienna, and I'm just dry brushing over all the leather parts and the other wraps that I didn't paint with the leathery color, just to make it look a little worn out and scratched, so the leather will be lighter. And that's just my wear and tear to make the darker spots pop out more, and just add some life to it by having different lots of different colors. I'm going with another coat of the acrylic varnish now, just to seal everything up that I painted before I move on to the next steps, because I don't want anything to get scratched or stuff might blend together too much. And it's a good, I'm done most of the painting, so it's a good time to seal it up. Also, while I'm holding them and doing other stuff, some of the paint will smudge off, so this is going to stop that from happening. That's the original Neca one that I'm basing it off of. I don't have those, but I have these, and I'm going to make them hopefully look as good. I have a black fine liner now, so I'm going in all the cracks. The pads on these guys didn't have any ink lines, but on the actual Neca ones they do. So I'm filling in all, and they all have little dents and stuff and scratches, and some places I'm going over the old lines that I painted over. Just gonna make everything pop out and really look like the comic book figures or the comic book characters. Now I went a little too much with the black ink on their masks, so I'm using a bright red, and the ink on the paint takes a while to dry, so it hasn't fully dried, but the wetness of the bright red is mixing, well, the bright red is mixing with the black ink and kind of getting the color that I started with, so it looks like I never painted it, or the ink is less. Yeah. Now I'm making a wash, and I have some brown and orange, and because the Plastron didn't have enough, I don't know, oomph, it didn't look right to me, it wasn't there yet. I mixed a little bit of red into there too, because they have a little bit of red in their shells in the Neca toys. So I keep adding a little red until I get it the right color. Then I get it, I clean up the brush a bit, and now it's still wash, and I'm getting in all the cracks and gaps, and just gonna darken some places and fill in some places. Then I dab off the top, so I want some of the yellow to show through still. So I dabbed them all, but I only showed one because that's just the back of my hand in front of the camera. It still wasn't looking the way I wanted it, so I have a brown fine liner marker, and now I'm going in all the cracks on the, now it's popping out. It was too light, it was blending in. I also go in all the little dots and stuff, and cracks and scratches that they have on there already, and I'm just filling in the lines that are already there. And now it's really coming to life. That brought it to the next level, because I need all those to be darker, and on the Neca one they are, and it just looks better that way. So that's Raph. So I drew his little lightning bolt because he doesn't have it on this figure, and I don't think he has it in this line or version of the original TMNT comics. I'm not sure. They all have pretty much the same plastron or undershoot on them, these toys. I don't know if the Neca ones are more different. So the cardboard wasn't a good choice. I should have used wood or metal because that sword just stayed bent. So that was a little before and after. This is what they look like. I think I did them, if I wanted them to look just like the Neca, I would have done another coat of the grass green, but I like to have different variations of color on them to look like shadow or just to look more natural, so I kept them like this. I like them. Let me know what you think. Until next time, remember, always keep your head up. Peace.